One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
This is what everyone's talking about.
Everything's on the table.
This is what champions come to take. This is what everyone came to see.
And the slam!
No do-overs. No second chances. No more Mr. Nice Guy. This is winner take all. The NBA Finals continue on ABC and the ESPN app.
Well, and welcome back, my good friend. How are you, buddy?
Sid, good morning to you. Everybody's telling me you're going to be the next mayor, so I'm just honored you made some time for me this morning. I'm excited to get to catch up.
That has become a popular conversation. Bruce Pearl, your old college basketball coach at Auburn, said it every time I saw him last week, and while he was calling me the Jewish Donald Trump. He made a speech in front of about 300 people. He said, that guy said he's the Jewish Donald Trump. But everybody's been talking about that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Jessica Tisch is a more likely candidate. Everybody wants Jessica. But you'd be, maybe you wouldn't be. Maybe you wouldn't be surprised as to how many people, big people, want me to at least consider doing that. But you come to New York quite a bit. You're in Alabama this morning. We'll get to those stories. But you're here quite a bit with your mom, and you see firsthand what a mess this city is.
Yeah, Sid, it's a night and day difference from last time I tried to get in your studio. It was a few weeks into Mamdani taking over, and we were coming to do a segment with you to hit communism. And I was like, I can't hit the guy too hard. He's been there, 2 weeks? And all of a sudden, we get out of the Uber to try to get into your studio, and I can't get in the door because of how high the trash is piled up outside.
Remember
because
that.
This is just the city that Mamdani has made. So
Yeah.
I think Sid could clean up trash a little bit better than Tommy in the office currently.
I could certainly do that. That was, you're right, those the trash stories were big in and around, for people that forget, because a lot of people keep telling me how great he's doing, these morons. In and including Trump, President Trump. You're not a moron, but stop. Stop telling me how good he is, how smart he is. It's really getting nauseating, and I love you. That was about the same time that he allowed 16 people to die in the streets during a snowstorm. So we had snow piled a couple feet high, dead people in the streets, garbage piled 10 feet high. And I'm supposed to believe this guy's doing a great job, But look, he's just one of a lot of really disgusting politicians and candidates. One that comes to mind right away is Graham Platner. This guy's covering up his tattoo now, but it's still on his body. A Nazi tattoo. And think about this. Chuck Schumer. What a real lowlife Chuck Schumer has become. The most powerful Jewish politician in the country. Right? He's Jewish. I saw him at the parade on Sunday, all proud. He's a joke, okay? He's a capo at this point. That's all he is. Chuck Schumer is out there endorsing. I get Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, who's also a Jew. Think about this, Brilyn. Both of those guys, Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer, are Jewish, and they are actively endorsing a guy that A, craps all over our veterans, and B, sports a Nazi tattoo, this lowlife Graham Platner in Maine. How sad is that?
It's the saddest thing ever, and it's hypocritical because the same people that spent the last decade calling every teacher in a MAGA hat Hitler Jr. now put a guy with a Nazi tattoo on the top of their ticket. So these same people have continued to attack our generation for supporting Trump. They've continued to compare, say, ICE to Nazi stormtroopers. But today they're out here putting this guy as their nominee. I think it really shows that they have no feel. I remember last time I was in New York, Sid, and a Democrat reporter really fiercely and sharply tried to ask me if I was scared of the deep field of the Democrat Party. And I said, what is this deep field? What are you talking about? This is the best they have to offer. This is their nominee in a situation like this. It's sad, it's despicable. It really talks about the state of the party, that not only is he their candidate, but their leaders like Schumer and Sanders are rallying around him. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, you look at some other leaders around the country, like the current mayor in Los Angeles. No one can argue the terrible job that Karen Bass has done. Houses burning down, homeless everywhere, junkies all over the streets, crime at an all-time high, people leaving the state of California as quickly as they're leaving New York and New Jersey. And yet she's winning. Now, thank God, Spencer Pratt ended up beating this DSA psycho in Los Angeles. I mean, it's not called yet. It's not official. They're still counting votes, but it's a pretty safe bet. It's going to be Bass and Pratt come November, but she's still winning, and even in the governor race, Steve Hilton is winning, our guy, but Becerra is not far behind, and he's a Democrat. So, you wonder, Brilyn, if these states, if these cities, if these countries, if they learn their lesson, but they don't seem to. Not when Karen Bass wins on Tuesday.
No, they haven't learned the lesson yet because my generation continues to believe the lies and free things that have been dangled in front of our face, the emotions that have tried to guilt trip us into voting Democrat and not leaving that plantation that we've been held a monopoly on. Think of Mondani, for example. He didn't put on his bumper sticker when he said that socialism is compassionate and gee, it's just so selfless that there would be trash piled high outside the WABC studio. Just like Karen Bass didn't put on her bumper sticker when she said that she was going to be accepting and including, but that also meant that drug overdose deaths and poop would be on every street corner in LA. So time after time after time, we need good candidates just like Spencer Pratt to step up across the country. I know it's scared. I know it's intimidating. Sid, you know better than anybody how terrifying politics is to get into. But if more good people like Spencer Pratt get into the race and start calling out some incompetence, maybe we could start kicking out some of these incompetence.
No, I agree. And he's not a politician, much like President Trump and other pretty good politicians along the way. And that's part of the appeal, I guess, for me. I don't know. But the hell is wrong with your generation? I talked to Alex Broughton quite a bit and working with Brooke Rollins. Brooke Rollins made her debut on this program yesterday and out there working with J.D. Vance. You had that big, I guess, rally in Maine a couple of weeks ago, the same night that President Trump went to China. J.D.'s out there trying to eliminate fraud. We'll get to that, as well as a bunch of others. But, Broughton's 25, you're 19. You're both very, very smart. But for the most part, what the hell is wrong with your generation? Huh? Are they stupid? I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah, I think there's a minority that's really loud of my generation that's put in a bad rap. The people that don't sit in classes, the small minority that are protesting on the college square, as opposed to the thousands of us that are in class putting our heads down, getting the work done. I think, to your point about what's wrong with our generation, you bring up fraud. I think we wouldn't know even half of the fraud that's happening in this country if it wasn't for a member of my generation, Nick Shirley, who just had an iPhone and went into these places and called out these kind of stuff. It wasn't the government. It wasn't these three-letter agencies that are allegedly brand by Republicans. It wasn't the three-letter news cycles. It was literally a college student who took an iPhone and went into these daycares and exposed this fraud. So our generation is stepping up, but we got a lot more work to do.
No, it's fair. Good point. And we got a lot of folks working on fraud. I mentioned J.D. Vance. He's kind of in charge of it. President Trump put him in charge. Trump also saying yesterday a Vance-Rubio or Rubio-Vance ticket would be very impossible to beat. But you got J.D. in charge of the whole thing. I'm going to have the former congressman. He's now the general inspector of the Labor Department, Anthony D'Esposito, live in studio with the labor inspector tomorrow morning. They've uncovered billions in fraud. I'm going to be going to a dinner Saturday night in Rockland County. They're honoring Lee Zeldin. He has uncovered billions in fraud with the EPA. Even my friend Dr. Oz in studio here just last week, what he's been uncovering, billions with Medicare and Medicaid. So this fraud situation here in the United States, which is not just in Minnesota, but New York and California and Illinois and Colorado, all over this country, turns out that there's billions and billions and billions of dollars. You want to know why we operate at such a huge deficit? Fraud alone could help solve that issue, Brilyn.
I agree. And I think it should be one of our number one issues going into the midterms, because this is how you rebuild trust with a generation that genuinely does not trust the government. My generation still thinks of the government as the big overseer that kept us out of schools and strapped that diaper to our face during COVID. We do not trust the government. Every single poll will agree with me. Every single campus I go to says that we don't trust the government. But we rebuild trust by going here, by getting funding back, and we can bring down the national debt as we go into the midterm. So what better promise to look at Gen Z and say, we brought down the debt that's not going to saddle your shoulders when you get of age, and you can trust us because of how much we canceled.
Brilyn, you're 19 years old. You're on the campus right now, as you are every couple of weeks, live on this show from Auburn University, one of our finest campuses in the great state of Alabama. And I don't know what the Jewish population is on that campus. I don't know what kind of pushback the Jews get, how many rallies, for example, you get at your campus. Bruce Pearl tells me that Alabama not exactly loaded with Jews. It's not Teaneck, New Jersey. You look at some of these people we're electing, and, of course, in New Jersey, talking about them just Tuesday, this Adam Hammerly, this piece of garbage who's, been involved with defending the, people that are blowing up buildings and dealing with Al-Qaeda. These are the people that the squad and AOC are out there endorsing. And in some cases, they're winning. Not every case, right? We did see, thank God, it looks like Nithya didn't win in Los Angeles. That goes to Bass and Pratt, and we did see one other DSA candidate lose, but way too many are winning. This last guy, Hamway in New Jersey, is a very, very, very bad guy. So I ask you, what's wrong with your generation? What about all this Jew hate stuff with your generation? What is that? Where does that come from?
Yeah, I would go farther than he's a bad guy. I would say he was an extremist. And I think it says a lot more about the party than it does even the candidates, that not only are they like the outskirts of the party, they're not some fringe on the outside, but Mondani, Platner, and now this guy are being accepted as the nominees and being endorsed by the top. And I think that really says a lot about who we're trusting on the other side. And it's a sad state of affairs. As for my generation, I think we've seen a lot of really unfortunate hate come. A lot of it's been through social media, as you know, Sid, and Bruce has been on the forefront of pushing back against a lot of that. We don't have the same, anti-Semitic protests on Auburn's campus in Alabama as we see in New York, but I think a lot of it is thankfully going to be solved through conversations, through actually talking about it and still ignoring it. And a lot of it can't be on social media. It has to be face-to-face, because it's really easy, as you know, to make a video go viral and get some clicks off of it, as some of these former friends of ours now do. But if you actually just have conversations and explain, it's a real lot harder to hate somebody face-to-face.
So on the way out, you're 19, but you're a big star, right? Charlie Kirk loved you. He found you in the 4th grade, and, you're friendly with Erica, the whole thing. President Trump loves you. Sid Rosenberg loves you. You're on the #1 show across the nation now every couple of weeks. So people know you. You're on Fox News, the whole thing. So if you go to a frat party tonight on your campus, Auburn University, all right, and there's a really hot chick, Brilyn, really hot chick, but she's a Democrat. Do you still bang her?
No, it's not going to happen, Sid.
Okay. Is that because she's a Democrat, or you're religious and your mom is going to kill you? Is that a dog in the background?
It'll be more for the religious aspect, I'll say that.
So are you
we
like?
Won't be with any Democrats anytime soon. That won't happen either. Nor are they at Auburn's campus. Thankfully, it's pretty hard to find them.
Oh, that's good to hear. So are you like Tim Tebow? And I'm not making fun of you. I love Tim Tebow. I think he's one of the greatest Americans ever. Are you like not going to have sex until you get married because of religion?
That's the plan.
Oh my God! Look at you. I love you even more now, buddy. I didn't know that. So good. And your mother's doing a great job. Both your parents. I mean, you're a wonderful kid. You're doing great. And listen, we got a whole generation of kids out there. You got to be the voice. You know what I'm saying? So you did a great job this morning. Thank you, Brilyn. Great to have you on the program again. We'll talk to you again very, very soon. Excellent job. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, my friend. All
right. Take care. Brilyn Hollyhand right there. Big star. Part of that. He's not part of the Turning Point group anymore. He was. But I guess he's not really affiliated with them. But he's doing a great job as the voice for us Republicans at Gen Z generation, which came up very, very big for President Trump. He did very, very well with the youngsters, and Brilyn was one of the folks out there that made sure that was the case. And I would imagine whether it's Marco or JD or Teddy Politics, whoever it is in 2028, that once again, Hollyhand will play a major role in getting us a win in a couple of years.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?